Hello journaling friends, and welcome to my quiet and cozy little space. My name is Peggy, and today I thought I'd do a little flip through of my Hobonichi Cousin. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, but I've needed to get a bit more organised. Anyway, here we are today. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you find something enjoyable in this video today. So this is my Hobonichi Cousin. She is essentially my journal of joy. This is where I put in any keepsakes. I do a bit of travel journaling and memory keeping, a bit of commonplacing. It's kind of a hybrid mix of everything really, all put into the one book. On my last trip to Japan, I got myself this adorable pink and yellow Hobonichi cover. I did an unboxing of it a couple of videos ago, I think it was. So since then, I haven't really made too much of an effort to decorate. However, I have got, or to personalise it rather, not decorate it. I did, however, think that I would like to put a little keychain or something onto the pen loop. I forget what these are called. So I happen to have a heap of gacha that I have picked up over my last couple of trips to Japan that I'm yet to open. So I rummaged through them and I could see in this capsule that it says it's something Moomin related, and I can see there's a little keychain on there as well. So I'm going to open this, and hopefully if it's cute enough, which I'm sure it will be, I'm going to attach it here. However, I'm just going to show you, first of all, my gacha collection that I haven't opened yet. This is what I have. This is my gacha haul. I have opened some, but this is what I'm yet to open. Actually, that one I have already opened. So I do keep them in this adorable little bag that my friend Flossie made for me. How clever is she? Keeping in with my obsession over pink and red. I think I talk about colour combo obsessions quite a lot. Pink and red has been one for years, and then now it's also pink and green. Anyway, I am yet to open these, and I think I've spoken about it before here, that I love to prolong my excitement over things. I'm less inclined to open a gacha immediately once I get it out of the machine. I mean, sometimes I do, but I also like to hoard them and open them later. So I'm wondering what we think about doing a gacha opening video together. It'd be kind of fun to open them and reveal what's inside with you. Anyway, check out these little, these were Hello Kitty ones, and they're shaped like a strawberry, like the actual gacha is shaped like a strawberry. I do have a few of these. I took the plastic off this one because I wanted to see what the actual capsule looked like, but I haven't opened this yet. I think I've got others. Oh, there's 3. So what are we thinking? Do I want to open these in another video? Let me know what you think. So that is my gacha haul. Let's open this one together so I can hopefully embellish my Hobonichi Cousin a little. Oh, Moomin biscuit. Okay. And again, I wish I could read Japanese, but that's okay. We know it's a Moomin character. Oh my goodness. Okay. Cute. It's a biscuit and the tin. That is cute. Oh yeah, of course the lid wouldn't come off because otherwise you'd lose the bottom part of the tin because it's not attached. That is super cute. The name of this character has escaped me. No, I can't remember. I'm going to end this video and then it'll come to me. Anyway, what do we think? I feel like that would look cute on there. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, here we go. I had to pause that while I put this together because it would have been tedious for you to watch. Oh, she's cute. Okay. That is adorable. All right, so obviously that will go into my journal. None of this stuff gets thrown out. Okay, so this is my Hobonichi Cousin, and I think we'll just get started. Obviously, being my first flip through, I kind of have no idea what I'm really doing, but anyway, let's see how we go. So as I mentioned in a previous video, I did do the opening and unboxing of this cover, and at the start I did put the the cover of the journal into this case, but it felt too constricted, and also I want to be able to admire my cover with all my stickers, so I've pulled that back out. I think that's better. I don't know what everyone else does, but got some glue or something on there. So on my cover I have put stickers that mean something to me or are sentimental in some sort of way. A train ticket, because we know I love trains. Some other little stickers I've picked up from Japan, and a stamp. These are stickers from a very dear friend of mine, and I wanted to be able to look at them all year round. I love B-Side Label, which is a Japanese stationery brand. They make the cutest and most quirkiest stickers. I love this girl with a pearl earring eating onigiri. It's just perfect. I love onigiri. And then I've got a Hello Kitty sticker, and these little strawberry stickers are from my dear friend Zoe, who has become my pen pal recently. I did do a video of me opening my first letter from Zoe. I say first as if there's going to be more. I hope there will be. Anyway, so obviously I've popped those stickers on there from Zoe. And then on the inside of the case, I've just got some things that, are also sentimental to me. A few train-related items, a Hobonichi stencil, which I don't use that often yet, but I plan to, so I thought I'll just pop that in there. My name label, also from Zoe, that was on the envelope. This little thing I actually got given to me by a postal manager in Japan at a post office when I was buying some stamps, these stamps actually. So I've just had it floating around, so I thought I'm going to pop it in here so I can enjoy it. And then an IKEA tape measure, because you just never know when you need to measure something. And also I just didn't have the heart to throw that out. So, all right, let's get started. So the inside of my cover is pretty much the same as the front. I do plan on popping more stickers on this throughout the year, just little stickers that I enjoy and I want to look at all year round. And same for the inside. So obviously I've got my favourite Milky illustration sticker here. Yumi Kitagishi's illustrations make a regular appearance in my journal. I'm obsessed. And then strawberries also from Zoe, a little ribbon that came in Zoe's letter. And then probably one of my favourite stickers that Zoe sent me was this little bubble type ticket. Train ticket or bus ticket. So again, I expect by the end of the year this will be completely covered. I love having things that are kind of like being decorated over time, so they change shape, and then by the end of the year I hope that this will be a complete work of art. So on the inside I have a Zsuzsanna V Bryant, I hope I've said their name correctly, printable that I got from their Patreon, and I just liked it because it's kind of giving busy with lots to do. She's got a coffee in her hand, she's got a notebook, her journal in her pocket. You know, looks like she's walking hurriedly, got her headphones on, but she's also got a smile on her face, and I feel like she's just doing her thing, you know. So I really liked that, because that's me this year, just doing my thing. Also, the go slowly was something that a dear friend of mine, Flossie, had said to me once. It really helps me in a lot of ways to just remind myself that not everything has to be done immediately. Probably almost like my mantra for this year, go slowly. So you'll see that appear in my journal every so often as well, just as a little reminder. I do intend on covering all of this with stickers as well, or little bits of memorabilia that I like. Nothing going on here. So I only started using this spread at the end of April, and I'm not really big on habit tracking as such, but I do have some things that I want to do every day to help me feel calmer. And I've worked out over probably the last 6 months or so things that just work for me and things that don't. And they're just everyday little habits, I guess you could call them. On this list, I have things like no phone in the morning. This is a non-negotiable for me. I do not pick my phone up when I'm still in bed. I definitely won't be scrolling any socials before my breakfast. Waking up, getting out of bed, preparing my breakfast and my coffee is a really peaceful way for me to start the day without my phone. And then I've also got that same in the evening. So once I hop into bed, I'm not looking at my phone. They're just two things you'll find. There's the odd occasion where I'm breaking my own rules, so to speak. But as time goes on, you'll see in the months, especially from like I think June and July, you can see that I'm almost always adhering to that rule for myself. I don't want to call it a rule. It's more like it's just something that I know makes me feel better if I'm not doing it. And then I've got other things like writing my pages in the morning. I don't tend to do that unless I really, really need to empty my mind. So I quite enjoy when I can see that I haven't been journaling in the morning or doing like writing pages, because that means I haven't needed to. I do also have fun journaling. So obviously this one. So that's where I'm just sitting down, enjoying my Hobonichi Cousin. And then I've got a morning walk or an afternoon walk. I have to walk once a day. That's my kind of time to just stop what I'm doing and also get some exercise. Obviously, it's really good for my mind. So if I don't do a morning walk, then I have to do an afternoon walk. And not that I have to, but I actually, by forcing myself to do that and make it a habit, I find that I get so much out of it now, and I look forward to it as well. And then I've got buy nothing new. So this one, you can see, I'm actually pretty diligent with this one. I decided a few months ago that I was going to try, and actually it was when I got back from Japan at the start of the year. I decided so I can indulge in stationery and, splurging when I'm on holidays, because that's when I like to buy most of my stationery. I want to do that without the guilt that comes with spending money on frivolous things, I guess you can call it, even though I wouldn't call my stationery frivolous. But anyway, so I've made a conscious effort now not to buy things for the sake of buying them, so I can save my money, and then when I am on holidays or if I want to buy stationery, I can splurge on those things without the added guilt. So that's one that I tend to do really well with. And then read my book. That's fallen off because I've been journaling way more now, which you can see on a daily basis. I don't normally journal daily, but yeah, I found the reading my book has dropped off, but I have quite a few books on my to be read pile, so I feel inclined to start reading again very soon. And then I did have this as sleep before 12, but that very rarely happens. So I've changed it this month to bed by 12. So that just means that I try and be in bed, or like at least heading to bed by 12, but I usually don't sleep before 12. I'm a night owl, and that's fine. I get to sleep in, so that's great. So yeah, you can see the bought nothing new is going strong, and so is the fun journaling, and also no phone in the morning. So I've done really well with that, and also no phone in bed at night. So I ended up calling it, rather than like a habit tracker, because I feel like that then becomes, I don't know, it's a bit, I don't know what it is. I just don't like the word tracker. I get it. It makes sense. But for me, I needed it to be a bit more whimsical. So I've called it my soul nourishment list. Anyway, that's just something that works for me. So that's what's happening here. I do enjoy filling it out every day. I don't always do it on the day. Obviously, I'll do it the following day. But I really enjoy filling this out now. So hopefully I can finish that for the rest of the year. And then we're on to my monthly spreads. So I have covered a few spots that I don't really want to share, just moments that are private to me and that I want to keep to myself. So yeah, my monthly spread is essentially just whatever. There's a little bit of memories or reminders of what I did on certain days. There's little bits of ephemera that I've picked up. Like I know exactly where I got this little bit of napkin when I was in Japan. There's always going to be Japanese ephemera in here as well, and stationery. So Last year I did my monthly spreads a little bit differently. Actually, I'll show you. So for last year, I actually started off doing my monthly spreads like this. I really enjoyed it. And actually when I was looking through this morning, because I thought I would show you what last year's monthly spreads looked like, I realised that I really enjoyed doing this, and I might do the same for a couple of months this year as well. But also I found that it encouraged me to stop and think of something significant for the day and then try and draw it. I'm terrible at drawing. So it was really good practice, but you'll see that it did fall off the wayside. I mean, I think this looks really cute, and it's definitely encouraged me to try again this year. I could also do a mix, like some stickers and decorating and then some doodles in there as well. So you can see that here, obviously into March is where it started to drop off. And April was definitely, I lost it. Like I lost the flow of doing it by the time April came around. I did write in pencil little reminders of what I could, have as a prompt to draw something. But yeah, I think I might try and do this again this year. Anyway, cute. So that's January, and then we've got Feb, similar thing, just little reminders of things I did on those days. I've covered that one. Some washi tape ephemera. And also on the side here, I did start to put some of the media that I was consuming. So books that I'm reading or have read, and series or movies that I'm watching. I think I've stopped doing that by, what are we now, July? So, but anyway, see how I go. So I'm just going to show you up to Feb. That's what I was thinking today is I'm just going to show you from the start, like the cover of my journal, the inside cover, and then January, Feb. And then otherwise I feel like this video will be way too long. And then I can do other videos obviously for March and April, and then May and June, like in 2 months at a time, because we are now nearing the end of July. So I didn't want to do like January to June for all sections of my journal. So yeah, I'll just do them in 2 months at a time, I think. Then we've got the vertical weeklies. I didn't do anything with my weeklies in last year's journal. They stayed blank for the whole year. So this year I thought I will give it a go. I'm still going strong, even mid-July. So we'll see how we go. I'm also not too bothered if it does drop off, if I decide it's too much effort to do the monthlies, weeklies and daily pages. I also don't have an issue with some pages being blank. That does not bother me at all. I'm just doing this purely for leisure. Like I don't want to put that pressure on myself to, have to create every single day or have to fill every single spread. So I don't mind blank pages. I'm fine with that. Anyway, so we've got some more printables from Zsuzsanna V Bryant, a little bit of my Mormon flip calendar, and then I do just like to decorate it with different bits of stationery, and occasionally I'll put a little quote in or a poem. This one I actually bought Jeanette Winterson's Christmas Days book. My book club, which consists of 2 people, myself and my friend Helen. We were going to read that over Christmas time, but we didn't get around to it because I think we were still finishing some other book. Anyway, I did buy the book and I'm going to try and read that this Christmas time. But anyway, so this is a poem that I found online, also written by Jeanette Winterson. It reads, "Do you fall in love often? Yes, often. With a view, with a book, with a dog, a cat, with numbers, with friends, with complete strangers, with nothing at all." I felt like this just really resonates with me because I could have written this, except I would probably change numbers to words because I fall in love with words all the time. When I'm reading, I'll come across a word or something online that just kind of stands out and brings me joy almost. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't know if that's weird or not. Equally, there are some words that I just don't like. So complete strangers, you might notice in my travel pages that I do fall in love with complete strangers, and in a platonic way. I don't mean in a romantic way. It is romantic, but it's also, yeah, I don't know. I'll explain a little bit later. Anyway, so things like that just resonate with me, I like to put in my journal as well. And I come back and flip through my journal quite frequently and will read things that I've written in the past. I have covered, again, some parts because I just want to keep those moments private. The reason I've left this blank is I thought I would make a little list of books, series and movies that I really want to watch this year or anytime. I do have a to be read pile in Goodreads, but they're fiction titles, and so I've got a few non-fiction books that I want to read, so I've just popped them in here. Some series. Again, I do have a list on Netflix of series that I want to watch, but yeah, I thought I'd just keep a little list here as well. So basically, if I'm in my journal, or because often I watch YouTube videos of people journaling while I'm journaling, so sometimes people will talk about a series or a movie they've watched that they really like. So then, yeah, that's pretty much where I've picked up these recommendations, I guess. And then, yeah, little bits of ephemera again from washi tape that I opened at that time. The inside of a washi tape. So like these Hitotoki tapes, I'm obsessed with soda tape. I just really like the, what do you call it? Their branding inside. So even that does not get wasted with me. And then just, yeah, again, other little sayings that I've come across, the real luxuries in life. Often I read that and I just think, yes, calm and boring days are a luxury. Just little reminders. My friend Flossie often sends me cute little memes or quotes or poems. And she sent this one: instead of asking what's my life purpose, try what's worth showing up for today. Big reminder for me. So it's less about, life purpose and more about what do I want to do today that will bring me a little bit of joy, and what's worth me showing up for as well. Happy nonsense. That is one of my favourite, what do you call it? I guess a word compilation. Happy nonsense. This is all happy nonsense. And then, photos of my Animal Crossing. So this was me visiting my villager Sasha's home, and Sasha had little bears playing board games. So I just sat myself down there and pretty much sat there all day. I didn't stare at obviously I turned my game off, but yeah. More flossy gems, as I call them. I've had enough of this busy place. Exiting the busy place. I know exactly who I am and I know what I want. So that's me often on the couch late at night, just watching something wholesome on TV. And I really loved this little quote that I saw on Instagram. I did try and find who to credit, but there was a bit of a mixed bag of credits online. So I couldn't quite find who actually first said this. But I am the softest and the most ruthless I've ever been. And that really resonated with me. What are we talking, January when I wrote this? Because I find I have softened a lot in the last year or two, I want to say. But also I feel ruthless, with my intention and who I am as a person. So yeah, that really resonated with me. This was me obviously getting excited because I was headed to Japan at the end of January. So much excitement. Again, I've just covered something here that I want to keep to myself. That stepping off the plane feeling, like that feeling of just, landing on foreign land and all the excitement around what lies ahead. You know what I mean? The new sights and sounds and smells, meeting complete strangers, not having to adhere to your everyday responsibilities and routine. So yeah, that was something that I had put in my phone, in my notes. I have a running notes on my phone where I put just little things that come to mind throughout the day that I am feeling, I guess. So when I'm filling in my journal, I will look through those notes and I'll be reminded, that's right, when I got off the plane, I just had that feeling. So I know exactly what that means. yeah, some doodles, some drawing. I cannot write like calligraphy style at all. That is something I definitely want to learn eventually, but I try, and it doesn't matter if it's messy. On this day, I caught the Shinkansen to Nozawa Onsen with a friend of mine from home who had flown to Tokyo. We went skiing for the week, and so this was us catching the Shinkansen. A day of skiing. We had lunch at the top of the mountain. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my ski boots in there? Again, just a little cute little reminder of a moment that I was really enjoying on the day. That's what a lot of my photos are. They're just, moments. When we got to our hotel, I was so pleasantly surprised at the, I guess you call it like a dining room or lounge area. And it was perfect for how I like to spend my morning. Got my coffee, my yogurt, my Yakult, my eggs, and just overlooking this beautiful view of this wide open space, and it was snowy and it was just, so lovely. So I really enjoyed that in the morning. It felt like kind of I was at home doing my normal thing, but in a completely different environment. And on this day, I actually went for a massage, and I got talking to the person. I think they were a physio or a masseuse. I don't actually know, to be honest. Anyway, we got talking about life, and we were talking about, I guess, societal expectations and the need almost inherently for us to want to do things to a set timeline in life. And I am way past that point. Like I now definitely, I admit I do have the luxury to do things in a different way because of my profession. Because I have a creative job that is done mostly from home. And obviously I am at weddings photographing couples as well. But yeah, I do have the luxury of, I guess, because I work from home 6 days of the week. Well, I'm not working 6 days a week, but I do have that freedom, I guess, to do things to a different timeline. But anyway, so we got talking, and I was almost reminding this person of that, like you can, provided, you have the means, you can do things at a different pace if, what society has sort of carved out for us as humans doesn't really appeal to you. So anyway, this conversation, like it did get quite deep and meaningful, I thought. Anyway, at the end of it, they said, "I'm glad I met you today." And that just really made my heart swell because I felt like it was such a simple interaction, but it meant something to both of us. Like I felt exactly the same. So I've written that in there because it's not something that I would probably remember someone saying, and it was just such a simple and, I guess, impactful comment. So yeah, anyway, that's the kind of stuff that I put in my journal. It's not always, sometimes it is I got up and I did this and I did that, but often it's things that have made me feel something, and joyous things. As I've mentioned before, I don't put any heavy stuff in my Hobonichi Cousin. This is purely all the lovely moments. So I've just covered another little bit here, but yeah, basically just, again, moments, little bits of ephemera from Japan, my Lawson coffee, which becomes my staple in the mornings. If you have ever been to Japan, or if you're ever heading there and you haven't tried out Lawson coffee, highly recommend. I'm not a coffee snob by any means. Like I love filtered coffee. That's what I drink at home. So barista coffee, I either just love it or I don't love it. Depends on how it's made. But the Lawson coffee, I really enjoy every time. It's made by a machine, so it's going to be consistent. Oh, this little train ticket, I bought these from a train shop in Tokyo Station, I think it was. That it just had all, train paraphernalia, I guess. Souvenirs, that's the word I'm looking for, and stationery. So I did buy this washi roll of the tickets, which will make a regular appearance in my journal. They also tear off, like the washi tears off. It's got like a perforated little edge, so it tears off like, actually I'll show you. I did tear some off because they're going in my journal, but I will show you. This just tickles me because one, train ticket, but also it does tear like one. I mean, it's perforated. How cute is that? So yeah, simple things as I've mentioned before. Slow travel days. I really loved this. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Definitely maximising my morning routine, the routine. That is literally me, except, yeah, I mean, that could be a coffee pot, not a teapot. This embodies my morning. Also had an interesting night here. I had kind of what I guess you could call like a missed connection with someone. It was just a really lovely moment, and I wished afterwards I got onto a bus, and the moment I sat on that bus, I wished that I had taken the time to talk to this person, not for any reason apart from there was just this connection between us. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but so I wrote here, I shouldn't have got on the bus, damn. Actually, that was on the Monday night, but I hadn't, I ran out of room to write it. So again, just a little reminder of that moment, how I felt, you know, meeting this complete stranger that I could have probably taken the time to have spoken to. Days like this are very much my travel kind of days. Slept in, had a Lawson coffee, super slow morning. Checked out Tsutsaya bookstore. If you are ever in Japan, please do yourself a favour. If you love stationery books, cute and quirky homewares, they also often have local artists, little pop-up stalls kind of things, and you can obviously check out their artwork. You can buy things from them. Muji, regular occurrence in Japan. And then cozy armchair reads. So that's another thing I do on holidays is I read a lot. I make a point of, you know, spending my day doing all these lovely things for myself, but then also sitting in an armchair in a cozy cafe and reading my book. So I do that almost every night. You know, at the end of the night, being a night owl, I'm out late. I don't really want to just be sitting in my apartment on my own late at night. So I usually will sit somewhere, find somewhere nice to read my book. And then I've just covered up a few days here as well with some personal stuff. This day I went to this really cool exhibition at a museum that was Tom and Jerry. I absolutely loved that. I watched Tom and Jerry as a kid a lot, so that was really nice. And also, speaking of meeting strangers and falling in love with complete strangers, on this day I actually walked to a Lawson that was around the corner from an apartment that I was staying in, and I went there every morning for my coffee, and most nights, you know, after getting off the bus or the subway or even just walking back to my apartment, I would swing by and grab a few snacks, you know, late night snacks. On this night, I actually walked in and was talking to one of the staff, obviously just paying for my things. And this other person walked, you know, from around the back to the counter and started speaking really good English to me. I don't speak any Japanese, which is pretty dismal considering how often I've been there. I wish I could actually make an effort to learn. But anyway, so his English was impeccable, like he was fluent. And I asked him, where and how did you learn English? And he said he learned from watching US drama shows. I was just like, I think that's really impressive to be able to be so dedicated to wanting to learn a language that you can learn it from watching shows. I mean, I don't know, he might have been doing additional studying. I didn't really ask that far. We ended up having such a nice conversation because obviously he had an interest in speaking English and I speak English. When I got back to my apartment, I actually made a note for myself, you know, in my notes on my phone. And this is what I was thinking. How wonderful to be in a new space and meet a total stranger who you'll most likely never see again, but you connect and chat and offer one another a moment to interact. And I just felt like, you know, I mean, obviously when I'm on holiday, I'm not in a rush. I've got nowhere to be in a hurry usually. So I did have the time and I took the time to just speak to this person, and he did the same. You know, he came out from behind the back area to come and chat to me at the counter. I don't know, this is the whole, you know, meeting complete strangers and just having these moments where, yeah, you offer this space to one another. I really love that. And I think like as an introvert, this really works for me because I'm still getting the almost like a deep connection or interaction, but it's fleeting as well. So, you know, it's not like I'm sitting down with someone for 3 hours and having to socialise and getting worn out. I mean, I can do that with close friends, obviously. I love to do that. But yeah, I could be not speaking to any friends for a few days and then just have these really lovely moments or interactions with a complete stranger. So that's what I like about, the poem earlier saying falling in love with complete strangers. That's exactly that. Anyway, cafe hopping with my book. That's pretty much, I love days like that where I get up in the morning very slowly and I just don't decide what I'm going to do or where I'm going to go. I just will pack my bag with my journaling stuff and my book and just see where the day leads me. I love traveling like that. I definitely prefer to travel very slowly. I don't want to be checking sightseeing, spots off a list. I obviously do like to go sightseeing and check out new places, but I'm happiest when I'm just having a slow day. From the apartment I was staying in, the view wasn't like sensational, it was just the street. But there were a couple of trees outside and in the mornings these birds would just be chirping up a storm. And so the washing machine was on the balcony, so I'd often go out, pop some washing in and then just get ready for the day after I've had my very leisurely coffee. I'd be packing my bag with all my journaling stuff and my book and stuff like that. But these birds would be chirping, so I actually I do have videos of it as well, so I can hear it. But I took a photo of that actual view because when I looked out there, that's what I heard. And so this is basically my little reminder. When I see this photo, it takes me back to that moment or to those moments every morning. Just going to pop this in here. So, and then that takes us to the end of February. And yeah, just some ephemera. Like obviously I know, Muji, I know where this came from. Like I know what this came on. Same with this and this. This is actually the strip of that came with my little milky pudding. So, obviously I remember where these things come from and they do just bring me a little bit of joy. Some stamps from my very dear friend. So that's my weeklies up for January, February. And as I said, I'll do March, April in my next flip through. So then we're going to go to my daily pages. This is the turning the page to a new year. I did do a journal with me video on this, if you want to look back for that. Essentially, this is just, things that bring me joy for the year or that I hope to bring me joy for the year. My Moomin calendar, some Japanese ephemera, some stationery. This is obviously from the packaging that my Hobonichi cousin came in. And Yumi Kirigishi stickers, of course. Again, like I said, you will see them everywhere throughout my journal. A little note that I got from, a piece of note paper from a friend, but I put a little note in there for myself for the year. And I'm actually going to skip January for my daily pages because I had quite a lot going on, not heavy stuff, obviously, because I don't write heavy stuff in here. But it's very personal and I just don't feel like sharing. It's day-to-day stuff and little reminders and memories, but they're really personal. So I want to keep January mostly to myself. But we'll go to Feb because that's obviously when I got to Japan. So the end of January, I was already in Japan. What do you call it? Flight ephemera from my plane ride to Tokyo. This was a domestic flight that I took to Tokyo to meet up with my friend, and then we were going to Nozawa Onsen, as I mentioned earlier. So I don't have my Shinkansen ticket, but the sales slip, because we bought Shinkansen tickets to go to Nozawa Onsen. So I just forgot to stick that in here. I think it was floating around and I found it after I decorated this page, but I'll stick it there somehow. And then we go on to February. So on the start page for each month, actually, did I show you January? I didn't. I missed it. Hang on a second. I forgot to show you. So after the turning the page to a new year, then my January starter page. And this is basically kind of like a mood board, I guess, if you want to put it that way. what I was envisaging for January, which was traveling, reading, just birds. Birds just, to me, resemble, peace and calm, I guess. Unless they're flapping around my head, oh my gosh, don't even talk about it. Frolic in a field, tending to plants, just that peaceful kind of stuff. Cup of coffee, of course. And then I did write some notes on what I was almost envisaging, I guess, for my month, calm and joy. And it was a very calm month, actually, January. It was very peaceful and quiet. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. And obviously then I've got a bit of like what I'm seeing for my Japan trip, visiting cafes, walking around with friends, sitting on my own and just having quiet moments. So that was January. And then we go to Feb, which takes us to having trouble turning the page. So yeah, this is my February start page. And again, this is all Japan related. Fuji-san, reading, playing in the snow, Shinkansen rides, and then me gazing out of a window with my coffee. This happens a lot. This happens every day. The first day in Nozawa Onsen, there's a train ticket appearing again, some ephemera from my bento box on the way on the Shinkansen. And then we actually were walking through the town in Nozawa Onsen and we saw this truck, food truck. And on the sign outside, it had crab soup. So we were both actually thinking it was going to be, like a pureed type soup. And then this bowl was handed to us. I don't know if you can see that photo. I hope that's focusing. And the bowl was just actually full of crab pieces. It was delightful. It was delicious, but not what we were expecting. So we did also get given gloves to eat that. So that was the first time I think I've ever eaten food with gloves on. It was a really fun experience. Like we really, really, really enjoyed it. We ended up going back to this food truck every single day because the food was delightful. I also really loved that the receipt had a picture of the truck on it. That really tickled me. So obviously I was keeping that. Also, there was a little gondola that was just perched on its own as a cafe, and we had hot chocolate there. I would take a photo of where I put my ski boots in the ski shop, once I'd taken them off. And I just really like this photo. It's quirky. It doesn't really mean much. It's just, they're my boots. They're my white boots, just to remind me where I'd put them. So I found this on my camera roll as I was printing photos and I thought, I'm going to print that. I also met a Finnish person at the hotel we were staying at. That was such a lovely surprise. And of course, we chatted a lot about Finland, about coffee and Finnish chocolate. And I actually had some Finnish chocolate in my case. So I gifted him some Finnish chocolate, which was great. Burgers for dinner. And then this day, when I was printing out the photos of things that just stood out to me on the day, I noticed that it was all views. So the view from the little lounge dining area in our hotel, the view from the gondola, it was actually got really snowy. So it was quite hazy. Like we're going up to the mountain and looking down at the town. And then sitting down to have a hot chocolate after skiing with this beautiful view of the town. That was really memorable. And not really a view, but still a good view of dumplings. So we found these dumplings in town. Oh, they were so delicious. I can't remember what they're called. I probably got it on the receipt. They had different fillings, so we tried a few different ones. So this day just ended up being all of the views. I didn't actually write anything in my notes on my phone for this day. So I didn't really, obviously, because, I usually record little moments or things that stood out for me. But obviously I knew what we did. We went to see the snow monkeys, which was adorable. They were bathing in an onsen and the little baby monkeys, the tiny little ones, were rolling around and playing. They were really playful. And this was just a page from a brochure that I brought home with me of Nozawa Onsen. And then these are just some little photos I've taken, as we're walking around. Actually, no, this is of the street that we would walk down between our hotel and the ski field. And this is the view from my hotel room. I had the best room. I was on a corner of the third floor, which was the highest floor for the rooms. So because I was on a corner, I had two different views. This is one, and then I had a view looking from the other side. But every morning when I opened my blinds, it would just look different depending on how much snowfall we'd had overnight. So it did get thicker and thicker. And then I'd often see the little, like the snow vehicle clearing the roads. And on this day, there's the go slowly again. I had that in my head as I took this run that was a little bit scary for me. I'm not very confident on skis. I do need more lessons. And every time I go skiing, because, it's usually a few years in between. So I will always have a lesson or two. But yeah, I had to just remind myself to take it easy because it is scary, but it's also not once you get going, as long as I'm like paying attention. So after that, I then went to this cafe that was recommended by a friend of mine, Ricky, a friend at home who had been to Nozawa Onsen. Actually, the reason we went to Nozawa Onsen was because he had recommended it. And I stopped by this cafe he recommended. I think it's Shizen Cafe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But anyway, I had a cookie and a hot chocolate, and I did go back there a couple of days later. But I sat by the window. You can see there's a window with the snow outside, and just people watched and read my book. It was so lovely. I really enjoy doing that after, you've been skiing all day and you've been out, I guess being active, and then to just sit and enjoy the quietness. On this day, so we went for yakiniku at this restaurant. That was probably one of my favourite meals that I had in the whole 5 weeks I was in Japan. It was, we ordered way too much food, of course. I think we pretty much ate it all as well, but we were so stuffed at the end of it. Anyway, they had this delicious egg soup. I still think about it. On the way there, we saw a little gift store across the road, and this gift store had so many cute and quirky things in it, and I found these 3 washi tapes. So obviously I've done a little swatch here as a memory. And then on this day, it was actually really wild and woolly at the top of the mountain. We went up and then skied down, and I was like, I can't do that again. It was just, there was a snow flying everywhere. Visibility was really low, and not being so confident, it just, freaked me out a little bit. My friend is a much more competent skier. So she just went off and did her own thing, and I popped my skis away after that first scary ski down, and I went back to the cafe and had some banana bread and a hot chocolate, and I read my book. And then we went to Kanazawa on the Shinkansen on this day. I went to Loft, got myself some face masks, and sat in the bath in the evening, read my book. That was delightful. As always, really happy to be back at Loft. And then I headed to Tokyo, and I've just written some cute little moments and things. Again, this stranger helped me find some eki stamps at a station that I was having trouble finding. I was on the wrong side of the station. I am not good with direction. So it was saying, I had to go to the west side of the station. Anyway, I could not work it out. And this gentleman heard me asking for directions, and he actually tapped me on the shoulder and said, I'll show you, and walked me there. And it was on the other side of the station as well. So that was really lovely. And as he presented the eki stamp part, the desk, then he just waved and off he went. It was so lovely. So, of course, another Loft visit, which is where I got my the commemorative tools and toys box, Hobonichi box. I was so happy that I found it. Metro ticket, I love trains. Also met some friends of mine from home. I photographed their wedding many years ago, and we actually caught up in Fuglen. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I should know how to say that. Cafe, which I highly recommend as well. The ambience in there is beautiful, and obviously the coffee is really good as well. So I think I had a mocktail actually. And yeah, so we sat there and then we, what do you call it? Reenacted a photo that we took on their wedding day, but now with their little girl. So that was really wholesome, like catching up with them. I love catching up with friends from home in foreign places. Actually, the year before, around the same time, I caught up with my friend Ricky in Tokyo. And we had a big night visiting some very quirky bars. And then, oops, I'm just going to cover this page. This is also jumping on a flight again, a domestic flight. Went to Traveller's Factory. I wish I had gone to a couple of more of their stores. I actually just went to the one at the airport. However, I have something exciting to show you. I didn't buy this in Japan, but I did, however, find it online last week. I looked high and low. I was checking international sites online, all the Australian stores that I could find online. And everyone, like all of the shops said they were out of stock. I did go on a deep dive and found, I think it was on Reddit or somewhere, that someone had said apparently they were going to be restocking like worldwide middle of August. I'm not really too fussed with the whole limited edition thing. However, I have looked at Traveller's Company notebooks when I've been in Japan on multiple occasions and thought about getting one, and I'd like pick up the covers, the case, and I'd, just and ah, and because I didn't quite know what I was going to do with one because I do all of my journaling in my Hobonichi Cousin. So I do have one notebook, just a separate notebook without a cover that I collect all my Eki stamps in, or all stamps in fact, but I didn't buy a cover because I didn't really know, like I felt frivolous to have a cover just for my Eki stamp book. I did, however, really love the Love and Trip one because of the colour. It's a burgundy red kind of colour. So yeah, again, up until last week, I hadn't really thought that I was going to get one. I just loved the look of it. But then I had an idea on what I want to do with one now. So, because again, I don't buy things just for the sake of buying them. Like I really want to use things. I don't want to just buy this and pop it in a drawer. Anyway, last week I had an idea that I was going to buy one. Went online, I just couldn't find one. Eventually, it was late into the night. I'd been scouring the internet for like 2 hours or something. I just went to all these Australian stores and just put that I wanted to be notified. And I thought, there's no rush. I can wait till August. That's fine, whatever. And then I was in one Australian store online called Larry's Post. I think that's what the store's called. I'm going to pop it in the description. It came up as this was in stock and I was like, this can't be right. So I selected it, got to the payment page, paid for it, and then I got a notification, saying that it had been ordered. And then I thought, is this a mistake? Like, do they really have them in stock? And then I went back to the store and it said for the regular notebook and the passport size that it was out of stock. So I was like, did I just get the last one? Like, is that what has happened here? Anyway, I did go to bed thinking I'll probably wake up tomorrow and, I don't know, perhaps I haven't ordered from Larry's Post before. Perhaps it was an error. Maybe they don't have it in stock because that has happened when I've ordered things from other websites before. And the next day I woke up to an email saying your order has been shipped. So here she is. I can't believe I got one. Like I was happy to wait till August, but I cannot believe I found potentially the last copy online. I know you can get them on Etsy and eBay or whatever, but from an actual store, stationery store. I could be hyping myself up. Maybe it isn't the last copy, but anyway, I found one. So I'm going to do an unboxing. What do we think? Do you guys want to see this being opened? Again, I'm prolonging the excitement. Like I picked this up on Friday last week and it's now Wednesday. So I am prolonging the excitement. I also am thinking that I'd love to video the opening so I can share it with you all as well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you want to see this opening. I feel like I'm going to video it anyway because it's so exciting. Anyway, there we go. This day was obviously a big loft haul. So I just wanted to, you know, pop some of the ephemera in from washi tapes that I'd bought, some of the stationery. I came across this Daily Life, Mizutama Daily Life series, and I was obsessed. I kept going to different loft stores to try and see if I could get, you know, the different parts of the series. They do come in lots of different colours as well, pink, yellow, green, blue. You'll see a lot of Mizutama's illustrations and designs in my journal as well. Don't know if there's much else I want to show you. No. So that's it for Feb. I don't really want to show the rest of Feb because it was quite personal. There are some spreads also that I'm still decorating. So what I do is on a spread like this, I'll sit and decorate this in one sitting. But sometimes I'll go back to other spreads. Like if I'm journaling, sometimes I'll flip through and I'll have some stationery in front of me that I know will suit a previous page or spread that I've decorated. So sometimes I go back, you know, and pop things on pages that I've pretty much finished, but not, if that makes sense. I'll do the March and April flip through in another video in coming weeks, I think. But yeah, let me know, what did you think? Is there anything in particular that you really love about the way I'm using the different parts of my Hobonichi Cousin? Do you journal in a Hobonichi? And let me know what you're doing in the different sections. I'm really curious. I find at the moment this year it's really working for me to do the kind of like the weekly recap, but also popping in memes, quotes, poems, just moments that really have stood out to me. And then the monthly, I know the monthlies will change. In actual fact, I'm now inspired to do more of the little doodles that I was doing last year. I might even try and dedicate one whole month spread to the doodles, but we'll see how we go. Again, I don't like putting pressure on myself. I'm just happy doing whatever I feel like. It's just started raining. I don't know if you can hear that. Good timing, because I think I better wrap this up. I feel like it's been an hour. Hopefully I can edit it to be a little bit shorter. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thanks for sticking around if you have made it this far. Thanks for giving me the space to have a little chat and to share my journal with you. Say hello in the comments if you feel so inclined, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.